Good evening. Sorry I'm late. Hey Oliver. How's it going? Let me just calm. Breathing down. I'm in a bit of a rush today. Don't know why. Trying to do too much, most likely. So, welcome to the Wednesday night session with Yvie Johnson, illustrator and writer from Denbigh, North Wales. Wednesday's a folktale and Femmes session, and this Wednesday we've got the Folktale Week prompts ready for mid-November, so that's what I will be working on tonight. But before that, I'm going to show you the time-lapse of the Frightful Funsies as to where it began and where we've ended up. I'm doing okay as well, thanks, Oliver. So yeah, let's have a look at the time lapse then. It's a 2-minute time lapse. Starting out with all the ideas I came up with first, and then the process of. I think I began with like a chalky type of paintbrush and some sort of crayony outlines. And at some point I decided to make the whole thing bigger. And what that does to the time-lapse video is it makes the original video smaller until it can get bigger. Hey Sandman, how's it going? Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. So this is the time lapse for Frightful Funsies. I actually started it last year, and whilst I was waiting for the Folktale Week prompts to come out, I just thought I'll give these, I'll give this a bit more attention, see what else I can do with it. And yeah, so I've managed to put more detail in, and it needs a lot more detail, a lot more attention, but we're gonna have to set it aside for now because the Folktale Week prompts have come in. So let's have a look at them. Where's my image? There it is. So I've taken this from Instagram. Folktale Week is an official Instagram page. And the prompt list, which begins... Oh, can I read that? It's so tiny. 17th of November to 23rd of November. It feels a long time away. It's not. It will be on me within a heartbeat. And it's always a race to see how many of these I can get through. And there's only 7. But it's 7 that I like to give my everything to. So yeah, so the prompt list for Folktale Week 2025. Day 1 is night. Day 2 is echo. I'm already excited about these. Day 3 is rain. Day 4 is book. Day 5 is charm. Day 6 is storm. And day 7 is dawn. I mean, every year is really good. Some are harder to find stories for, but night is already like it's a great one to start with. There's so many nighttime relevancies to folktale stories. So I haven't begun anything yet. But if you guys want to take a screenshot of that or have a look at the hashtag and the Instagram page are at the bottom. Folktale Week 2025. You're going to do this with me or not, it's fine. Evening, Keys. Can you be a folk that tells? Of course. So, yeah, night. Let's have a look at my... I create a new page. What I'm going to do is actually open up my Frightful Funsies one and grab a... I have like a cheat sort of page of... It's bright. It's bright. There we go. They were the initial 3 that I began with on this. I can't remember what the prompt was. Anyway, so let's grab the layer I want is this one. Those boxes. I'm going to copy that layer and create new. Starting all the way from the beginning. I'm going to come to Folktale Portrait and switch to landscape. Or do I want to do a portrait? I find it harder to do landscapes. Yeah, oh, sorry. I am so sorry. I'm such a numpty. Oops. Thank you, Keys. Yeah, I agree. Number 2 could be tricky. So there's some of them that tend to be a little bit ambiguous. You're really reaching for something to make the prompt work. Okay, so I'm going to create a new illustration file. What I was doing was I'd open this Frightful Funsies. I'll just show you again. And I'd originally started with obviously some squares, rectangles, to sketch out some ideas. And I've just copied my layer just for those boxes. What size is this, by the way? 3000 by 2249. I never know what size to do things, you know. Create new. Saved things that I've already saved. Sizes I've already saved. So I've got here Folktale Portrait. And obviously, if you wanted to use Instagram as your place to put things, portrait's always like an obvious choice for getting a full phone page coverage. And I tend to do lots of portraits. I think I'll stick with portraits. I have quite a theme going on with portraits. So if I now paste layer and just turn it on its side, press on the extra round button on the left corner and then stretch it, it stretches all the corners. There you go, I've got my boxes now ready for sketching. Let me just clear my screen a bit. Good old-fashioned elbow grease. Hey Uma, good evening. And underneath I'll use as my drawing layer. Okay, brushes. I have to start again, don't I? I really need to sort these out. I've got far too many. Ultimate pencil, that's usually the one that works. I'll just stick with that. Okay, ultimate pencil, 2B. Just gonna get the prompts back up, because, and I shall move them. Make them a little bit smaller. Over there. There we go. Hey. Night. Echo. I mean, bats is the only thing that comes to mind. Rain. No story comes to mind, but I suppose it's just the atmosphere is rainy, a rainy night. Book is going to be a lovely one. I might even just choose a few to do and just stick with that. And then 5, we've got charm. That's lovely as well. 6, storm. I suppose a few of them here actually would make for better landscape images. And dawn. Oh, well done, Keys. Thank you for putting them in the chat there. Have a you've already got a 1-sentence story idea for Echo. Do you want to share it, or is that something you're going to work on? What I need is proper folk tales to share. Just give me a sec whilst I grab my proper folktale story books. Got a couple, just hopefully just within reach. Okay. Let's have a look. I've got one here which is Welsh Folk Tales by Peter Stevenson. He's a really good collector of folk tales. I've got loads of notes from all the previous years. And I wonder if sometimes these are like categorized with words that would work really well. Do you know what? There is actually a nighttime story of Cadair Idris, which is a mountain in sort of North Wales heading south near Machynlleth. Anybody knows that area, it's a very big mountain biking area. Not far from Aberystwyth. If I could just look for that one, because I already know that is a great story to do as a I mean, even Calangaya, that's, you know, Halloween night is like a really good folktale story night to do, because you've already got all of the ghostly happenings that happen at night time. But I think Cadair Idris, which means Idris's chair. Cadair means chair in Welsh, in English, from Welsh. So I'm going to look at Cadair Idris. So that is the name of the mountain, but it also means Idris's seat. So if I just read, if you don't mind, I'm just going to read you a little bit of a tale. It's not very long. About this, about Cadair Idris. So the man with green weaves in his hair. Idris was a giant, a poet and an astronomer who stargazed from a stone observatory on the top of the mountain in Meirionydd that was named after him, Cadair Idris. He may have been the source of the belief that if you spend a night on Cadair, you will wake up in the morning either mad, dead, or a poet. Some locals add the extra option of an Englishman. So one evening, two farmers were walking home to Llanegrin from Dolgellau Fair. Passing Llyn Gwernan, which is a lake, Llyn is a lake, at the foot of Cadair Idris, when they saw a giant man with green water weeds twined in his hair. He was wailing in Welsh. The hour is come, but the man is not, from 10 at night to 5 in the morning. Next day, the body of an Englishman was found bloated in the lake. It transpired he had spent the night in Idris's observatory, causing much discussion amongst the locals, who concluded he must have been a mad English poet before he spent the night on the mountain, so death was his only option. So the idea being that if you literally spend a night on the mountain on Cadair Idris, in the place where you can sit and look at the stars, because there's like no light pollution, you will become mad, dead, or a poet as a result of that. I like the idea of becoming a poet. So Keys has shared a one sentence story idea for Echo, if I just share that. He heard the cavern had an echo and said hello. Hello? Hello? And the echo said, "Who's there? Who's there? Who's there?" I'm sure I've heard that before, but in some form or another. But it's a nice a nice little thing to share. Okay, Cadair Idris is a mountain, and it has it's like there's a lake at the bottom, and there's like a seat area at the top, which is where somebody could sit and effectively look at the stars. You know, like in some sort of binoculars or a telescope or something. So Maybe I could do like another bino thing. Some sort of seat there. Stars in the sky. Probably don't need it that high. I'm just going to move this to another layer. And maybe make the most of what actually is the constellations at this time of year around that area. Something like that. There is the other mountains sort of, it's like a horseshoe shape of mountains. It's very beautiful. So that's an idea for night, using Cadair Idris, which is a nighttime observatory, natural observatory in North Wales. I think I'm going to pass on Echo, pass on Rain. Let's look at Book. I just like the idea of drawing another spell book. Maybe it should be a Welsh folk stories book, or naturally everything I draw is going to be about Wales. A Welsh witchcraft book. These are the books I've got in front of me. Or the folklore of Wales. Ghosts. So I've got a few books here I could draw from as book names, and perhaps a type of, I don't know, a tent thing. I do want to work on my children's portfolio, I suppose, so maybe a tent idea. Under some sort of blanket. With big book open before them. There's maybe a couple of them together, a couple of kids together, hiding. Little light hanging from the ceiling. Maybe that, maybe focus on it being what the book is. Means I bring in some, if I use the Welsh Folktales one, I can maybe have elements of like creepy things in the corner come out the trees. Moon. Something sitting on the top of the there, also watching. Maybe a little dragon. Baby dragon. Okay, so that's a book. And oh no, so I'm thinking that Rain, Storm and Dawn are very landscapey, so the third one of those would need to be landscape. echo, cave, or bats. I like the idea of linking them to actual stories though, so I'll have a think about that. I'm gonna concentrate on starting this book one. I like this. So move these down. And make this whole layer super big. Right, and then I'm just gonna bring in some other of my little tricks that I have. The golden ratio stuff. Oh, Keys, so the story that you said, it's like, I think I've heard it in the sense of it's like some sort of joke or something I've heard before. But it's not, I don't think I've heard it as a story as such. I've heard it in the sense of it's a joke or a fun thing in a kid's book. So in here, I have, there we go. I'm going to copy that layer group, bring it over to here, paste layer group. All of my scribbles, apparently. Okay. That's the outside. That's the inside. Let's just get rid of those two first. Let's go for another pen. Go back. I like the mega pack. It's if there's anything I wish that I could. I know I've sorted out my own libraries. I still need a startup brush that I should always start with. Go with that one. Yeah, I don't know about copyright. I have no experience in any of that. Please. Hey. Book. Make this like some sort of huge tomb of a book. Being referred to. Maybe this doesn't even need to be outside. It could actually be in the bed, like a children's bedroom. It's like made up of not a tent thing, it's made up of bed sheets. You can tell I haven't been camping for a long time. Would you want to have a light outside? I like the idea of it being outside actually, because it's like I can add the trees in. Bring that down. I like the idea of the trees in the background and the moon outside. So the kid's probably going to be sat up, so scribble, scribble. Sort of like holding it over their heads. Pot of food here. Eating cushions. Okay. I basically go from one scribble to the next and just try to make it less scribbly. Let's rename this one. So I'm going to have this one as Folktale Week 25 book. This is a magical book, naturally. Magic comes out of books. That's the seating around these trees. It's all going to be in the dark, but I think. This kid's probably got his knees tucked up. Right, I'm going to move this kid further forward. Oh. Yeah. The one reading the book is a little bit of a bigger kid. And they're going to be a bit further forward. The picture. Hey, Penny. How's it going? It's Folktale Week. Prompts time. Back to all these scribbles. We got a hoodie on. Inside the blanket. I appreciate this probably isn't as legible as I'd like it to be. This could give them a bit more holding up. These are fingers holding up. Bed sheet and got knees up. Turning off my little quick eraser. We've got a bit of an open style tent. Maybe their little toes can be just like to the side here. And he's asking, any luck on the chair hunt? I feel like I'm at a stage of where do I just give in to the chase and just go with some sort of armchair that reclines? And an armchair would give me that much more comfort that a bed does, which I can't get from your average desk chair. They're very much angular. You know, the armrests on desk chairs tend to be like pokey. Does that make sense? Pokey. Whereas an armchair is a lot more volume. And what I'd be worried about is trying to figure out a desk that would be low enough for an armchair, because armchairs are actually, the seating part is a lot lower than your regular chair, like by a good 20 centimeters, which would mean trying to make a desk 20 centimeters lower than the average desk would look. So if you stand up next to it, it's super low. I had a cry about it last night, if I'm honest. I was just like overwhelmed with how demoralizing it is. Cast out from society. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's in that boat. Why can't we just find... There's so many things on the market. Why is it not possible to find something less gimmicky? And then my brain was like, why don't you just stay in bed? And the whole point being, I'm creating a space that isn't my bed so I can actually live outside of my bed. It's only important to me. It's not, you know, it's nobody else in the house is actually bothered. Okay, so I've got book is the category for this one. It would fit night. As well. Maybe this is like propped up on some sort of pillow. I know I would be doing that. Okay, and then I wanted to have, where is my other little image? So I've got some sort of dragon, baby dragon maybe. We're in, this is the Welsh countryside, Welsh forests. Little dragons listening in to the story. Maybe falling asleep to it, so maybe he's resting on his little paws. Oh. Filled up like a puppy on the top, something like that. And then other Welsh folk tales that could be related to the book. There's always mermaids and there's always witches, so we'll have to have a witch. I think the witch would be here. She's hugging a tree. Well, witches are tree huggers, I think. got a witch there, and some turnips. Who've come awake. Maybe something in the pot anyway. I suppose the light coming through this would make this a little bit see-through. We would be able to see them huddled. In there. And then maybe something casts a shadow. I may be putting too much into this picture. Headless horseman. Okay. Wow. We've started. Okay, let's start refining. Refining the layer. So I actually want this stick. I suppose it would be like some sort of branch, wouldn't it? Come out further. Perhaps to be more over them. Now I'm going to start doing different layers for different things. So this is just going to be the tent layer. What are you guys working on? Been a bit out of touch recently. I've had so much sleep to catch up with, and what else? Gosh, can't think. Pennies at work, at a regular job. Moving files around. I think I was doing a lot of that recently, actually, just moving files around. Okay, that's my tent. I do need more to the tent, I think. Maybe it can be a little bit ruffled. Yeah, I need my my have that the peg to come out way out there. And then these front ones be there. Defying gravity, this tent. Gotta stand up somehow. Figure that out in a minute. Hang on. That front one and another front one there. They can come off page. Off page. Holding this pencil would straighten it right out. Go. I think this one actually is too close. Okay. Got tent pegs and tent. Suppose the book needs to be What did you post over at Waves on his Discord? Was that your little story? Or you can own it if it is. It's like, it's your story. You only had one story, Penny. Oh, Keith had one banana story and Megan was summoned by it. Yeah, some sort of really big book here to read from. And he says, I feel like September was really tough for me, so I'm trying to be less hard on myself in October when it comes to the different art challenges. Yep, I hear you. I now can't remember September. October's just like been so much to deal with already. What happened in September? Oh, I think I had a lot of family visits. All my kids came home. They were all home at the same time, so that was a lot. Yeah, there was lots of change going on. You're right, you know, you have to give yourself a break. I was wondering, you know, last night, how much of a deal am I going to make out of this chair business? You know, I even posted it on LinkedIn. I was like, come on, somebody must know a chair maker who makes chairs for people like me. Yeah, it's important to feel all the feelings, and someone has to know. This book is looking more square than I want it to be. Leave the book. Leave the book. You have a book? Okay, just something else. Okay. I think these kids are going to be under a blanket that is Not quite covering both of them. Could be. That's my little blanket layer. And under them. And a kid here, who's got their knees sort of up. How do you sort of hold a blanket? God, I'm trying to visualize this now, how to hold a blanket from underneath it. Got to sort of wrap it into your fingers. And then have your thumb over the top. So that elbow looks broken. So let's try that again. Maybe I have a terrible habit of not using references. So I apologize to anybody who's looking at my pictures like with disdain. Okay, they're sort of resting on that knee. Move that thumb over. I'm gonna make sure I pull the blanket into the into the fingers. Let me just catch up on some of your words. Yeah, you have to pace yourself, Penny. So important. Well, that's great that you're trying to recharge in nature more, especially at the weekends. can't imagine anything better. So got a funky hand going on there. So they're sort of like twisted. Oh boy. I'll get it. I'll get it in the end, don't worry. Okay, that's fine for now. Just want some sort of thing to start with. Wow, that's a huge book compared to that kid. That's kid number 1. And their little shoes came out the bottom, didn't they? Maybe the little slippers. Something like that. Fluffy slippers. Very long forearm. Yeah. I'll get it. I'll get it eventually. I suppose what I just need to do is open it out more. You always catch me on my forearms. Keys. My obsession with long forearms. Or short. No, maybe not long forearms, but maybe they're just short upper arms. Okay. That's one kid sort of started. And then in front of them is this kid. I mean, they're quite hidden by the book. Just a face. So maybe they could be further back from the book. A bit more inside the cover. He's read somewhere that people with longer arms are more spiritual and emotionally giving. That makes sense. I used to play netball with a girl. And this is about 10 12 years ago, who I'm almost 5'8", and she must have been 5'5" at the most. So on the terms of netball playing, she was on the shorter side, but she had very long arms, and it gave, so she actually had as good a reach almost as I did. She just, when she jumped, her arms extended further than the average body ratio. And so people tend to think that they can reach over her, but in actual fact she would catch the ball. And we measured our arms together, her shoulder to mine, down to her fingertips, and they extended far beyond my fingertips. And her elbow was further down than mine as well. So it was incredible. I'd never seen that ratio before of somebody. Okay, so this kid, I'm on reverse. These are their arms here. Elbow part. So this is where like the foreshortening sort of messes up my brain. We've got foreshortening. We've also got depth perception. Her arm is a lot closer. She can have some really sort of nighty. I'll just draw these type of fingers in for now. But that's, there we go, I think that's her there. Blanket comes past her. Oh, I need a blanket on the ground. So but you were just, but we were just children. That was just the way she grew up. I was not a child 12 years ago. I was a fully grown adult with 3 children. Right, I'm gonna give this a little ground sheet blanket. One that comes sort of across, and then one that sort of comes in front. And then oh boy, so this is the one that comes across here. And then the one that comes in front is sort of like doing this. Sort of a bit lumpy because of the grass. Do I need a perspective, angle, grid thing? Maybe. Maybe if I give it tassels, it's like it's easier to see, so it's like a rug. Can differentiate the blanket from the ground sheet. Okay. Just go back to her face because I also need to get her other hand in. And this could... probably is a... oh, he's holding... I think... no, they're going to hold the other... do I want them to hold their other knee? Is that too complicated? Yeah. Give up on that. Hey, Alessandra, good evening. I suppose I should show you guys this time lapse that I did. Let me just go to the time lapse. So I've got obviously on the page the prompt lists for the next Folktale week coming up in November. And I'm working on the 4th prompt of book. Yeah, the time lapse thing is it's wonderful. It's I just love that it captures it easily. So let me just go to the time lapse and show you guys. So I'm going to show you the time lapse of the Frightful Funsies, which is the turnip gooligans. Totally inspired by Penny. They are turnip gooligans, not just ghouls. And obviously they're having to take a bit of a back seat whilst I look at these Folktale Week prompts. Unless I use one of them for Folktale Week. Maybe. Okay, time lapse. Go. Can't remember what the prompt was that I was originally going to do. I'm pretty sure it was for Folktale Week last year, or maybe even the year before. In any case, I started out at a type of one size for the image, and then I decided to make it even bigger. And by making it bigger, it makes the time-lapse video shrink, because the time-lapse video then has to catch up to the bigger size. It's a funny thing that happens. So that's why it looks like it's shrunk on the page. I'll just make it bigger actually. Otherwise you can't really see what's going on. I almost feel like I haven't done much to it to change it. I think all I did was like redefine the trees and add a proper fence line and add some sort of more definition to the front foliage. I haven't even touched the sky properly. And yeah, I've started to add some cobbles and things. So I've got the road area to sort out. Still so much to do. Go. I'll make that smaller. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. And on Saturday I'll show the time lapse for the other prompt for One Planet Week. Okay, so I've got the tent story going on. Oh, I wanted it to be on a little cushion as well, didn't I? So a little cushion for the book to sit on. think the cushion would sort of come over the edge of the book, sort of like a little mini beanbag. To help hold it. I might have all these angles really quite wrong. Especially this beanbag. Let's just try that. Try and move that a bit. Could be the book's far too big. Yeah. I sort of think this book looks really too square. I mean, I don't have these angles right. Alter this one again. I mean, the whole point is this is the prompt. Book is the prompt. But it does sort of need a feature position. Let me get a grid up. Just help me with my with these lines a little bit. A great peek at the process. Yeah, I love watching them just for myself. To remind myself of the process that I've just went through, because sometimes you forget when, as you're doing stuff, you get so far down the road and you think, how did I get here? How did I even create this? Right, so I've got maybe that would be a better angle to have. And this line here is bothering me, so because then it looks like this this kid's looking at the the left-hand page. And if I just make it bigger. Still got it on my third. Right, and her hand means her hand can probably come forward somewhat. A much more comfortable elbow position. Oh, so Keith says, I think a lot of my painting style comes from concept art and speed painting. I've never seen you do a speed paint. Where do you show your speed painting process? Right, so this kid here, she's on a tummy. Get this elbow bit further back again. These are sort of like some frilly bits, which look like fingers at the moment. Here's a hand. Fingers, I think I've put 6 fingers in. Okay, so there's like some sort of hair. Here, shoulder. Okay. That looks more reasonable. Nope, do not want to add to that. Don't really want to do the faces yet because they'll get too much. I'll get too much into the faces. I know I will. And then this other hand, see where I've really altered. So that goes quite... that looks ridiculous. It needs to be more hidden. Squished. Grab that bit. Something like that. I probably have the fingers together actually. Eh. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, you do some things for Maddie's Discord, don't you? I do sometimes, but when I do the speed painting for like the plein air things, it's like a concentrated rush of energy, and my arm is under so much pressure that I feel like I've just run a marathon at the end of it, and the pain just takes over my whole body, and then I can't use my arm, which is why things take me so long. I need such a long break in between sessions. It's ridiculous. Keys is in the forest era. Yeah, there's a lot of discords. I get confused sometimes. I'm like, which one do I post it in? Because then am I favoriting one discord over another to post a piece of art in this one and not the other? And Keith says, I used to draw so many storyboard characters that I've kind of had enough. Whereas I'm still like, can I learn to do storyboard characters? Do I want to learn? Or do I just want to keep on with my style, which has a randomness to it? Or so I think it is. This pillow can probably come a bit more full. No, shrink it down. Shrink it down. She was probably alright. I just needed to shrink it. There you go. Like little like I use a little cushion to put my book on. So now I've just got that corner of blanket to see so this kid needs a proper leg, maybe two. Maybe other, I'm sort of thinking fluffy slippers is what they're wearing. Just think fluffy slippers is the idea now. Their job's to hold up the blanket. Very peculiar thumb thing going on, so maybe they've only got a few fingers. Okay, something like that, which means this outer blanket needs to be held at that level. Something like that. I need to sort of make it wispier. It's sort of hanging. Okay, so something like that. Get this grid off. So I've got other sort of additional elements to add to it. I'm going to add all these layers together because this is my tent. This is what's happening inside the tent. And then I've got additional accoutrements like a dragon, a lamp, forest trees, and a witch. And I wonder if I can make something out of this one. Obviously somehow figure out how to make the tent stand up. It's just sort of floating at the moment. There we go. Okay, I think I'm sort of done for the night. That felt like a bit of a speed paint, to be honest. Trying to sketch, intensely sketch. Gotta work out the colour scheme. Bring in the magic. We'll do it. Let me just catch up on the chat. He says you have to take care of yourself first. No complaints if you don't participate. You just watch. Yeah, I really only have I've only sort of done a couple because I think I've had the energy at the time, and then I've not wanted to regret it later, but I sort of have. Only because I overdid it. I didn't give myself enough room for recovery. Penny just usually watches because Penny's usually working. I feel for you, Penny. But you've got a good job, haven't you? You work with animals or something? You're helping to save the planet. Keys gets a bit of anxiety. Oh, I didn't realise. Especially when she shows the work at the end of a show. Be honest, Keys, I think what you feel anxiety, the rest of us feel admiration. Like you've been part of the show. Yeah, I love it when she shows everyone's work as well, because I just can't imagine how other people work until I see it. Yeah, PR does, they're always getting involved, aren't they? It's great. There's always the regulars. And Maddie's so good with it as well that, you know, she's trying to encourage us to just come along for the fun of it, not take it too seriously. Oh, Oliver. I mean, while you lot have work in progress, I just have a blank page. I mean, who's to say what it needs to look like? There's all sorts, you know, we almost keep it two-dimensional because it's a digital program, even though Maddie's painting, or sometimes painting. But it really could be anything, Oliver. It could be word art, you know, using some sort of stream of consciousness poetry. Penny's an art director. That's a great title for a pet professional public. Seriously? An art director for pet professional publications. Oh yes, it's definitely a tongue twister. In a doggy office. I feel like I work in a doggy office because I have to manage the dogs whilst I do anything. Oliver is out there doing the Lord's work. Sharing bug positive content. Exactly. You're keeping us connected to the real nature. Teaching us about the bugs. No worries, Alessandra. I'm finishing up now, Alessandra, and ready to have a break, have a cup of tea. And as Key says, yeah, you got to start somewhere. Do what you can. Okie dokie. So here's the first prompt that I've started for Folktale Week 2025. Prompt number 4. Or it could be prompt number 1. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's nighttime. Night or book. Either would fit this one actually. I might combine the two together. And maybe throw in some rain as well. Make it rain. I've got 3 prompts then. Thank you for keeping me company and sharing your thoughts and ideas and processes and life and tongue twisters with me. And what day is it today? It's Wednesday. So Thursday, Penny streams tomorrow on Thursday, as does Sean. And then Uma streams on Friday to kick off the weekend. I think Wade streams tomorrow as well on Thursday. And Jack streams maybe Friday. Yeah, Penny will be here tomorrow. Obviously the times are all changing. 12:30 p.m. UK time is all I know. So, and then I'm back on Saturday evening at 7 p.m. UK time, where I'll be carrying on with Little Bugman for the One Planet Week prompt. I'm determined by the end of the year to have one finished piece for my portfolio. So I shall be back then. Okie doke. I'm sorry. Okie doke. Right, guys. I wish you a wonderful evening, pleasant dreams. Thank you so much for being here with me. So, is there somebody to raid? Do we have any preferences for raiding? Dawn Lynch Design is doing letters, and May Creature is doing Inktober. No, sorry, Keys. Now I'm yawning too. It is contagious, and I'm not gonna be able to stop. Ugh, this is peak tiredness. Okay, Dawn Lynch then. Dawn Lynch it is. And I don't even know if I follow Dawn Lynch. Let me just have a quick check. Dawn Lynch Design. Oh, Hummingbird Design as well. That looks nice. Okay, let's go and have a little raid of Dawn Lynch Design. Say hello, support our fellow creatives, and I shall see you in the next one. Yoki, see you guys. Take care. Bye. Where's my OBS?